What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe, hype. Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, Sony just keeps stepping on rakes. I tell you what. Jason Schreier, I call him Jason Cryer. Anyway, Jason Schreier put out a thing. He got some top secret behind the scenes news or something. I don't know. Anyway, basically laying out PlayStation's thought process, mentality, plans, if you will, regarding the no more physical discs. And it illustrates where Sony is mentally and the fact that they admittedly don't care about their customers. That y'all are numbers that have money with your numbers too. They want the numbers to give us the numbers. That's what PlayStation is. That's what they on right now. Now, when you break it down, that's business, right? But a good business does that because everybody knows that is business. But also, they say, yo, what do y'all want? Y'all want that? You know what? We can make that happen. We can make money. Y'all could be happy. It's not too crazy. Everybody's happy. Boom. Now that's good. That's good business. You look at Valve, look at Steam. They've been doing good business for decades right now. It didn't start out that way. Then everybody hated Valve. Everybody hated Steam when it first came out. But then they like, okay. And now everybody loves it. It's a de facto, right? Hiroki Totoki is a snake. He's not a snake. He's an opportunist, at least. Does that make him a snake? No. It makes him get paid. That's what it does. Got his $4 million and said, all right, here's my Christmas bonus. Bing. Anyway, so basically Sony said that they don't, the main thing that popped up, I mean, there was like so many things on it that was so wrong, but the main thing that we should focus on, that should be the deciding factor of whether or not you stick with PlayStation or you go to PlayStation or you even consider looking their way when they going down the street. They said, paraphrasing of course, they said, we, Sony, PlayStation, don't need to have a conversation regarding our business decisions with the public. We will rely on the strength of our brand and the loyalty of our community. Take those words, process them, conjugate them into actual real English, because it didn't sound great when they wrote it. That was a close paraphrasing. It didn't sound great when I read it. I was like, oof, right? But then I translated into slap you in the face English, because that's what it is. And basically they said, yeah, we don't need to talk to y'all. Y'all are insignificant. Y'all love us. Our brand is so strong that y'all ain't going nowhere. Take that, pause, no diddy. I'm just saying, this is Sony. This is where Sony is right now. Because they believe that they don't have competition. Yo, everybody out there believes that Xbox is done. Xbox isn't competition anymore. Y'all don't understand what's about to happen. You guys, everybody who's saying they're not considering Xbox, who's left? Nintendo. Everybody who says that does not understand. Xbox is about to run the industry. They about to run the jewels on all y'all fools. Y'all don't get it, because Asha's in here. She's cleaning up the house. Once again, layoffs suck. But what's happening with the layoffs? You see that some of these ponies that were working at Xbox are coming out the woodwork. So I'm glad that some of these idiots are gone, because we don't need the enemy. We don't need the ops in our ranks. We don't need, double crosses over here. We don't need Jeffrey the pony over here working on whatever, Outer Worlds 2. Man, screw them. I'm glad they got fired. You hate Xbox so much, why are you working for them? Oh, I wanted to work in the video game. This is the only job I could get. Why? I mean, you not bad enough to work at PlayStation? I mean, bad meaning bad, not bad meaning good. Huh. There it is. Yeah, nah, man. I mean, look, Hiroki said that. He said other stuff too, like I can't remember because that's the one that stuck in my brain. But besides that, cashing out, just all these things. I mean, I think what else did he say? Like, oh yeah, everybody's eventually going to be digital, so it doesn't matter. I'm like, it's like, I mean, the thing about it, right? The hubris is back. By the way, the thing about the hubris being back is that the people there now were not there when the hubris. I mean, Herman Holtz, I think, was the only one there, but he wasn't at the position. He was just working at Gorilla. I think. I think he was still at Gorilla. I think he was like the main dude at Gorilla. So he might have been there. Wait a second. PS3, Gorilla. What did they make? What did they make for the PS3? Gorilla made. No, that's freaking. That's what you call it. Sucker Punch. Gorilla made Killzone. Killzone, duh. So they made Killzone 2. So yeah, they know he was there. Oh, or did he come after? I'd have to look at the history of that. But still, I think Herman Hulst is probably the closest thing to realize, oh, this is happening again. We should probably not. But he ain't gonna say nothing because Herman Hulst is a yes man, and he's also an opportunist. Because if you notice, the Horizon franchise is getting a lot of love, even though it's failing at except for, I think the main game made the first main game, Zero Dawn, made with the best sales. Everything else has been kind of flopping or not as successful, especially Lego. Lego was like, get out of here. And this Hunter's Gatherer, I like the design, I like the animation, I like all that stuff, but I'm like, nobody wants this game though. It's like, just make a movie or something, because you got the characters, or just make a movie. It looks like a nice little Sony. Make a movie. They should. They got the assets. Anyway, yeah, man. It's like they are literally repeating history, except this time is worse because when they did the 2013, I'm sorry, when they did the 20 no, it wasn't doing it. It was the PS3 launch of 2006. They were like, giant enemy cry, Ridge Racer, get another job, $5.99, all the bad stuff, right? And people were like, no. And then the devs were like, no. It was a perfect storm for Sony to fail. Sony would have failed even harder if Xbox didn't have the Red Ring of Death. Although I would argue that the Red Ring of Death made the numbers of the Xbox sales a little bit higher, because I'm pretty sure they counted all the refurbs and the returns and whatever. But whatever, they still won. Xbox still won that generation because of hearts and minds, not so much the actual number. Because that's why they're following this metric of unit sales, because they always buck the system. They always change the rules not change the rules, but they always go above and beyond to make sure that they sell more consoles, even though that's not really the metric. Anyway, so their hubris is back stronger than ever, and what is worse is that it's not about like them like really misreading the room or whatever. They just don't care. They literally said they don't care to talk to y'all. Ponies, Donkey, Unicorns, y'all listening? They don't care. They don't want to talk to y'all. Y'all gonna like it. Bend over. No Vaseline. Basically. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, if okay, let's flip it. If Xbox did that, I'm gonna say Xbox would be dead. I'd be like, oh, this hell no. There's no way they can come back from this. They know better not to do that. At least I would say Xbox learns, for the most part, I would think, from their mistakes, from their colossal F-ups, right? 2013 was a colossal F-up. They have not repeated that yet. I don't think they ever will. And with Asha in charge, Asha is like, yo, I was watching King today. King said something very true. And he said the managerial styles of these CEOs are different. He said Phil was a soft hand pimp. He said Asha is a gorilla pimp. And just watch his stream. I think he streamed it yesterday. Just watch it. You'll understand the reference. But I was like, yep. And right now we need a gorilla. We're not saying she looked like a gorilla. No. She got that big old hand, and she like, what? I'm sorry, what'd you say? Pap! That's what it is. Baby powder. You know what I'm saying? So look, this hubris that Sony is exuding or displaying is way stronger than the 2006 hubris. That hubris was combined with a couple of different factors. This hubris is a self-inflicted wound. They shot themselves in the ribs, and they're like, that didn't hurt. Who y'all gonna buy it, right? And they think Wolverine's gonna save them, and they think GTA is gonna save them. I am hoping. I hope. Look, I got a lot of confidence in Asha and the new team, right? Matthew Ball, you better be overtime strategize right now. They have been given the shiniest, most beautiful platter with a big giant W on it. There are so many different things that they could do in tandem, in conjunction with the mess ups that PlayStation is doing right now. And they could destroy PlayStation. And it's not even about them having more money and all this stuff. It would cost them more money, yes. But I think with the cuts that she's doing, and like, yo, okay, first, we're going to have a Blu-ray attachment. Even though we got to pay the licensing to the Blu-ray consortium, whatever, we're going to have a Blu-ray attachment. Because we're going to make special edition physical discs for games, select games. But here's the thing. Here's my idea. This is what they should do. Remember, Xbox had, I think they reopened it. It's called Design Lab, and you could design your own controllers and stuff. What if they did a Design Lab, call it Design Lab Extra or Design Lab Premium, whatever? Not to charge. I mean, they're gonna charge you for whatever you order. But right, you could be like, yo, I want to order Halo. I want to order. I mean, that's gonna be physical. But like, say, like, you know, past 2028 or whatever, a new game come out. I want Fallout 7 physical disc special edition, and then you could go and it's have like, what art do you want? You know, this is the case. You could get a black case, or you could get a black, you know, special case. You know, custom cases maybe. I mean, that's extra. You know, everything extra is going to cost you more, right? But like, when you're thinking about it, it's like you're going to order the game, so you're ordering the physical game through Design Lab. Plus, you have some options to modify. You say, oh, what cover you want. Maybe it's a double-sided cover. You get art on both sides, so you can flip it if you want to. You could get a green case. You could get a clear. Maybe have different color cases. You know, maybe there's different art you can select on the disc itself. All these things. And they could charge extra premium, Design Lab Premium for it. What it would be extra, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks on top of the price of the actual game. So they would make money. They would figure out a way to make money with that and still supply the physical medium, the physical copy for collectors. And that's the main thing. The collectors are the real people who want the physical media. I mean, there's some regions that physical media is important because they don't have internet or whatever, or the internet is not reliable, so they can get on the internet and download the game or update it, but then boom, you know, give them the ability to play it off the disc, or, you know, have to license them, whatever. But that's one idea that they could do. Listen, there's smart people there. They have all these things, ideas floating around. I'm sure someone posited that idea. I am absolutely sure someone said that. If they didn't, watch the video. I don't want credit, but, you know, just go grab my email. You know where it is. Anyway, hit me up in the comments. I'm just kidding. But yo, I mean, just that, right? Just the physical, just like saying, yo, we're going to support physical media until the foreseeable future. Boop, 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 boop. Because it's an important part of the history of video games and Xbox and blah, 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 blah. That's it. I mean, I had another idea, which is the goofiest idea ever in the history of ideas. I'm going to tell it what it is because it's goofy. So, you know how Xbox has that, the SSD expansion in the back, right? It's a CFI. I think it's not a bespoke connector, but it's a specific connector for a certain flash card that used to be in certain. I think Panasonic used it in one of their cameras back in the day. And they just repurposed it for the SSD and stuff. So what my idea was, I mean, they can either use that or they could do it like a proprietary, whatever. I mean, I don't think they should do proprietary. I think they should. I was gonna say just do USB, but I think that's a little bit whatever. But let's say they use the same one that they use now on the Xbox Series console, right? Make it like a cartridge, right? So there's a little SSD or flash memory on that. Like just make a little cartridge that fits in that slot, and you could be like, okay, well, it's either just the game or it's a 256 gig cart, and you have the game plus you have some more memory. You could throw something else on there, and the cart maybe has a sticker on it, and it's like a little mini cart, and you put it on like a little bit of nostalgia. I mean, that's super specialized, and that's not realistic because I don't think that would go mainstream, and plus that would cost more than a disc. So if we're talking about saving money or whatever, blah blah blah, but if we're just talking about collectors and stuff, they could do that. I mean, I'm sure some of us makers out here. I called myself a maker, but I am not yet. But I kind of have a maker mentality. Anyway, we could do that. We could find the little CF thing and put a little NAND, a little SSD on it, and put a little plastic case on, put a little sticker on it, and be like, look, it's a Halo cartridge, and you put it in and it plays the game because it's literally that would be kind of cool. I'm just saying, it's a goofy idea, I know, but that's what I said it was. But that's just like crazy. Somebody needs to do. I gotta search the internet and see if somebody did that already. If they haven't, I'm like, yo, you should do it, and then put that expansion in the front instead of in the back. Let's go bloop, so it looks like there's the cartridge. But anyway, or do like a USB. No, but that would be slower though, right? Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so Xbox taking advantage. I mean, they barely did. They stuck a pinky toe in the puddle. They said boop with the Halo campaign involved, and said, oh, first thing on the list was physical disc. I was like, they got them, but nobody's really talking about that because the news on the Sony side is so negative, and everybody's so upset that it's drowning out anything that Xbox is kind of doing. So smart, they're waiting for it to maybe subside a little bit, maybe for the anger to not neutralize, but the anger to plateau, and then they can say, all right, check us out, we're ready, we're getting through these changes and stuff, but with the changes come this, boom, and remember, she said the next 100 days. So we already had the first 100 days. Next 100 days is another 3 months or so, 2.5 months. And so maybe she's taking the rest of this month, figure out these studios, figure out these, blah, blah, blah. And then, when August comes around, bam, physical disc. We doing it, baby. We got contracts with these producers. We gonna make all the discs you want within reason, and then boom. And then what else? What else can we do? And it's just like, man, I mean, that's the main thing. It's like that. And then, I mean, there's so many different things, like the EULA on PlayStation, where they could just shut off they're so bad. People don't realize this, right? And I didn't read the EULA, but many people have, and they told me. So I was like, oh, okay. So anecdotally speaking, so if you don't mess with your account for PSN account for 3 years, 36 months, 3 years, they can shut it down, and you lose access to anything that you've bought there, and you cannot restore it. You can't get it back. You got to check in every 36 months to keep your. I'm like, yo, that's. I mean, look, anti-consumer is saying it nicely. How can you honestly want to do business with a company that's doing that right in front of your face? Honestly, it's not right in front of your face. It was in the EULA. They know nobody reads the EULA, but somebody read the EULA and said, wait, something changed. Then they put it out there. Now everybody's kind of knowing about it. So I'm like, yo, boop. There's this kid who's working, right? He's working with my friend who has a business. He's trying to save up money for a PlayStation 5, right? And I'm like, you shouldn't get a PlayStation 5. But this is before all this stuff blew up. So I got to talk to him. I'm like, listen, you still getting a PlayStation 5? Did you hear about all the stuff that's going on? So check it. Say if you you buying games, and you buy. I mean, you don't buy physical, right? You just gonna buy digital, right? You just gonna go in the store and buy, right? Okay, so check it out. So if you got 20, let's say you have 100 games, they're all dope games. You got Call of Duty, you got all these games, and you do something, or something happens, your account gets banned. You can't access your games anymore. They can shut you down without any, because it says it in the EULA. If you go out of country for 3 years, you take your PlayStation, but you can't hook up to the internet for 3 years. You're out there for 5. You lose your whole account's gone. You still want to give them money? You still want to buy into that? The problem with what's happening with PlayStation right now and that whole EULA thing and the whole, we're going to destroy your The thing is that the PlayStation 5 store will not be open forever. The PlayStation 5 store, well, you know what? I'm going to say PlayStation 6. Because PlayStation 5 at least has some discs, right? But PlayStation 6, whatever that store is, it won't be open forever. And if there are no discs, then there's no way to have if you have a PlayStation 6, all you have is a machine. You don't have the games. The games don't exist with you. They won't be part of your collection, because one day they're going to close that store, just like they just closed the PlayStation 3 store. And there's no backwards compatibility. I mean, I'm sure there will be backwards compatibility, but that you're at the mercy of PlayStation, and we see how they're treating y'all right now. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, I could not be a customer of that company. There was a reason why I've never been a customer of PlayStation. I've never bought a PlayStation console retail, brand new, on sale, whatever. Always swap shop. Always garage sale. Always $20. I've been lucky to get all my PlayStations for $20 each. PlayStation 1, mint condition, $20. They were trying to hide it. I saw it behind the TV. I was like, who this? I see you get some stuff in, you try to hide it. Nope. And I bought it. PlayStation 2, garage sale, $20. PlayStation 3, garage sale. The power button was a little messed up, but I got it. I had Uncharted 3 on it. I played like 5 minutes, and I got to the part with the party, and I'm swinging outside, and I'm like, I don't care about this game. And I stopped playing, and I gave it to somebody. I was like, I don't care about this system. Boosh. Never had a PlayStation 4, never had a PlayStation 5, and don't intend on ever buying them, because they just messed up their whole ecosystem. They messed up their heritage. They messed up the lineage. They messed up the future of PlayStation. There is no future. It's digital, and digital is volatile, and digital is a dandelion in the wind. It's done. It's gone. There are no collecting. I'm gonna start going to GOG, and I'm gonna start my own collection of DRM free games. I want to start a collection of PC games that are DRM free. I want to put them all on a hard drive, like I want to see if they got like the old arcade games, old Sega games and stuff like that. If they got like a gang of like old arcade games, that'd be dope. I'd be like, yes, because I want those. Oh my gosh. Okay, tangent. Talking about arcade games. I saw somebody. I gotta find the link. I can't put it in the description, but there was somebody who did a new emulation kind of front end. It was the best thing I've ever seen in my life, as far as video games go. Listen, this is what they did. Okay, is they put so they made a 3D model of an arcade, right, where you can walk through. And it was Flynn's Arcade on the outside. So I was like, okay, whatever, that doesn't matter. So you walk in, it's Flynn's Arcade, and you can set up, and so it's a giant room, and it's arcade games everywhere, right? And so you can set up any type of whatever list of games that you want. So this person, like the first set was, I totally forgot what they're called. Not Tamagotchi. Something games. So basically, it was like all super scalar, all racing games, all blah blah. So they had all of the Sega super scalar racing, and they had the 3D games. They had all that stuff. Galaxy Force, G-Lock, Afterburner Climax, freaking Outrun Power Drift, Space Harrier, everything. Outrun, Super Outrun, everything. Plus a bunch of Namco stuff, Taito, everybody, whoever had Chase HQ, all the games that had super scalers was there. And they were like the big sit down versions. And I'm like, yo, and then they had like the Star Wars on the one side where you get in, it's like a sphere. And they had like the screen and stuff. They had Star Wars, they had Halo, they had every. I was like, oh hell, this is now my mission to build my own Flynn's with all. I mean, I kind of like that first one he showed. I was like, let's go. It has all the games that I want. I mean, I could throw a few in there. I could throw a little Dragon's Lair or something like that just for nostalgia. I probably never played in there but man, it blew my mind. And I was like, yo. It was like, and I changed my mind. I was like, I'm not going to build an arcade. I still might build an arcade machine, but it's like that right there took me and said, oh, I could just like make a super arcade cabinet and have that, and it'd be boom. I mean, I'd probably have to have a wheel and a stick, flight stick, and a joystick, and I'll probably have all the controls on it because I want to have access to all the different, for the games and stuff. But anyway, sorry for the tangent and everything. But man, that's a crazy emulator, man. Oh my god, so good. I gotta find out what the link is. I'll try to find it. But anyway, sorry for the ramble. But let me know what y'all think. Hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you think about freaking Hiroki Totoki talking out his face. Not care. He don't. Nope. Sony don't care. PlayStation don't care about y'all ponies. After the loyalty, he say, "Oh yeah, our brand is so strong, and y'all are loyal suckers." Y'all ain't owning no games no more, man. Like I said, man, Xbox, Asha, you have a unique opportunity to destroy PlayStation by their own hand. They literally have to do exactly what they did to y'all in 2013, and it's a wrap for them. But anyway, I appreciate, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Till the week.